Question number 1. The new teacher entered the noisy classroom. She shouted immediately at the students while desperately trying to have order and discipline. Since then, the teacher has not controlled the class. Which is the most probable cause of the teacher's failure? Is it letter A, the student's reaction to the teacher is a consequence of her behavior? Letter B, rules are not defined and procedures to sustain order is not put into place? Letter C, the new teacher wants to show the class who is the authority? Or letter D, the class wants to test the ability and patience of the teacher? Which one do you think is the correct answer for question number 1 in professional education? Yes, that's right, Sir Melfred. Sabi ni Sir Melfred, walang maiiwan. Papasa tayong lahat. Tiwala lang. Yes, go, go, go po. Join Grow because I'll be sending a lot of secret materials there until the last day prior to you taking the LEP. Okay, a lot of you are answering letter B. Okay, so now going back to our question here, the first question, the new teacher entered the noisy classroom. She shouted immediately at the students, desperately trying to have order and discipline. Since then, the teacher has not controlled the class. So what do you think is the probable reason why the teacher failed in disciplining these students? The correct answer, of course, is letter B. That's correct. Rules are not defined and procedures to sustain order is not put into place. So as a new teacher, it's very important for you to always be black and white with your rules. Okay, so i-state mo muna lahat ng rules nyo at the beginning of the school year. Kaya medyo mahirap pag hindi kayo nakapag-start ng school year, no? At mahirap din pag baguhang teacher kayo. So katulad ninyo, pagkatapos nyo mag-take ng LEP, ay magtuturo na kayo. So pupunta na kayo sa teaching field. And of course, you will be new teachers. Pag first year teacher mo, you are of course going to go through a lot of difficulties, a lot of challenges as a new teacher in the teaching field, okay? So ititest ka ng student, itutry ka ng student, but of course, you have to stay tough and you have to act as an adult in the classroom, okay? So dapat po nakalatag yung rules mo and dapat for you to sustain order in your class and discipline in your class, maging consistent ka sa iyong rules. Okay, so for number 1, letter B po is the correct answer. Okay, now we go to number 2. Which of the following examples illustrates the use of questions to focus people's attention on the key points of the lesson? Is it letter A, why are machine-made goods cheaper than those made by hand? Letter B, what is Rizal Park known for? Letter C, have you ever enjoyed watching the clouds on a bright day? Letter D, who came while I was writing on the blackboard? Okay, which one do you think is the probable question? Which is a very good question that you can use to focus people's attention on the key points of your lesson. Okay, this is number 2. Okay, nasa number 2 na po tayo. All right, now a lot of you have varied answers, but most of you got the correct answer, and that would be letter C. Have you ever enjoyed watching the clouds on a bright day? Now, yung question po natin dito for number 2 is simply talking about motivation. Okay, how do we motivate the students? So when you motivate students, you should be talking about things that they can relate with. Now, we cannot choose letter B. We also cannot choose letter C. Letter D, I mean, so B and D, we cannot choose this because these are convergent questions. Alam niyo po yung ibig sabihin ng convergent questions, di ba? Convergent and divergent questions. Pag sinabi mong convergent questions, there is only one correct answer. Pag sinabi mo namang divergent questions, these are open-ended questions. They don't have one correct answer. So, maaaring iba-iba yung sagot nila based sa kanilang opinion. So, letter B and D are all just convergent questions. Yung letter D nga, irrelevant to. Now, letter A and C are very good types of questions because These are divergent questions. That means iba-iba ang maaaring maging sagot ng inyong mga estudyante. Walang isang tamang sagot based on their opinion. So why are machine-made goods cheaper than those made by hand? Maaring makapagdebate kayo based on that question. No? Maganda yung magiging discussion nyo. But letter C is the best choice that we have here because it is more personal. Okay? So remember, again, this is just asking about motivation. When you motivate your students, it should be the questions or the activity that you use for motivation should be in relation to your objective. It should be related to your objective, but at the same time, it should be a question that your students can relate with. Okay? So dapat makapag-relate din sila. So the correct answer here would be letter C. Letter C po tayo for number 2.